All right, welcome back to another podcast. This is the SNBP podcast. I added the B in there for Berdaman. We had named it originally before he joined on, but you know what? The more the merrier, right? So we got four here, SNBP podcast. Added him to the title there. Retroactively added him to the first episode in the title as well. So welcome Berdaman officially
Thank you, man.
to the podcast. Although I think last episode was more of your welcome. But anyway, you're now in the title. Hockey, there's a Muppet ruining the screen. A Muppet ruining the screen. What? Anyway. Oh, he's talking about Nick. Oh, sorry, Nick. Alrighty. Let's get started, boys. We have a few topics on the agenda today. But firstly, we are recording this Thursday instead of Monday. This will go live on YouTube on Monday just to be consistent. But I am away on Monday. I get back Monday night, so it would have been a bit chaotic to try to plan that properly. I'm going away for the weekend for New Year's Eve with Liv and her family and her cousins, so we're going to Kingston. That should be a good time.
Nice.
So we're recording this early. We're going to talk about the World Junior Championship first. We'll move on to Bruce. There it is. We'll talk about the Arizona San Jose game, which was chaotic as hell, and our favorite hockey memories. So let's get right into it. Super sad news. Honestly, I wasn't following it that closely compared to recent years, but the World Junior Championship was canceled. So that's kind of unfortunate. I don't know who wants to start us off here, but all I'm going to say is it's very disappointing. I love watching Team Canada whenever I can. You know, Kaden Gulu's having a good tournament. Connor Bedard was set to break some records, I'm sure. And yeah, it just sucks that exciting tournament got canceled. What do you guys think?
I think they should have. Well, it's rough because we were on track to having a good good year, and the only reason why it got canceled was COVID. And I think it's too late to go into the bubble format because you have to then isolate again for I think 14 days. So it would have just delayed the tournament. So I think making the call to cancel it was a tough one, but I think they just want to PPD it. I think the best case scenario is it gets PPD'd and then it gets replayed maybe in the summer. I saw somebody suggesting that same rosters just played in the summer.
Yeah, that could be,
I don't see why I couldn't do that. I mean, I'm sure that'd be fine. I just saw a post about it being canceled. I don't know if I didn't see anything about it being postponed. If it is just postponed, then I mean that's fine. I don't know why it can't be played in the summer, but I was telling my friends when I was a kid, I used to really enjoy World Juniors, and then I don't know what happened. The last few years I was not hyped for it at all. But this year, Bedard was gonna be in it, and he was in it, and he was playing pretty good, and Canada's roster was really, really stacked, and I was super hyped to watch it. And yeah, just unfortunate, man. They were starting off so well. The last game I think it was a 12-2 win or something, and they were all feeling ridiculous.
it.
Yeah, they were all feeling it, man. And yeah, it just sucks. That's the outcome. Because how many cases was the total? I think it was 4.
I thought there was only 4 cases. That's what I thought.
Yeah. So I'm sure they're super upset because they're probably looking at the NHL and they're like, man, these guys are having 4 cases per team, right? And they're still moving on. But so yeah, it's unfortunate for them, but it is what it is. It's the world we live in now.
Yeah, it's so bizarre and actually funny that you say that. Honestly, I've been feeling the same way too about the World Junior Championship. I used to love watching that tournament. I think for me, the peak time of watching was around John Tavares, Carey Price, Brendan Gallagher. Those years, those were the years I really watched a lot and really followed it closely. But this year I was mostly just watching the recaps. I wasn't really as into it. I don't know why. Maybe it's just been a crazy year with COVID and everything's so hectic. I just haven't really felt I don't know, I just haven't really felt like getting into it. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Fair.
But it's weird because they only had 4 cases and they have 250 players. So 4 cases out of 250, that's a really small percentage, a really small
less than 1%
sample. Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of crazy as it is. And then, they got 4 out of 250. And on top of that, there's not only 250 people, there's 250 players plus the coaching staff their their accompanying staff. So everybody, all the team personnel as well is included in that. So 250 plus, and only 4 people got COVID. So it's a little weird that got canceled. The only other thing I find interesting was that there weren't that many restrictions for this tournament. So they're like, oh, we have to cancel and this is what I find very unfair. They're like, oh, we have to cancel the women's under 18. We have because of safety issues. But then when it comes to the men's under 18, there was no restrictions. Like the fans were in the same hotel as the players in some cases. They're allowed to use the same elevators, same everything as the players. So the fans and players were super interactive as well. So that's they were coming into contact. So that's a lot of issue as well. Like how is that not being addressed? How are you canceling the women's under 18, but then having them due to safety issues, then having the men's under 18 run the way it was, or have it go the way it was, and then cancel that one retroactively? It just doesn't make sense to me. So I think there's a big oversight there. That honestly, I think if they had just come into this tournament saying, okay, we're going to have a lot of restrictions, you wouldn't have seen this cancellation. That's what I think.
Just out of curiosity, when did the women's under 18 start?
I think it was set to start. Pardon it?
Was it at the same time?
No, I think it was supposed to start
They do it later.
a week or 2 off from the men's.
Yeah,
that
so,
way
I
the
feel
playoffs wouldn't overlap.
Sounds about right.
I feel like they could have easily looked at how it's going for the men's and just adjusted what they did, like what you said. Especially if it was starting later, I don't know, it seems pretty harsh to just cancel their whole thing if it's starting later. I mean, you can look at you just look at whatever mistakes you made and just try and change that and fix that so they don't have to not play. And I don't know. It seems like a little weird decision to me.
Yeah, well, and the thing is too, they said we canceled the women's tournament also because they were seeing when they started the men's tournament, there weren't that many cases in Canada. It was pretty steady. Well, there was cases, but it was steady. It was steadying out. It was pretty consistent.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, you just saw a major spike. I think yesterday in Quebec, we saw a spike of 10,000 cases yesterday.
Yeah,
just yesterday. That's a lot of cases, and that's peak COVID again. So already in Quebec, we have a curfew starting New Year's Eve. Funny enough, he's like, New Year's Eve curfew 9 p.m. If you're out past 9 p.m. without good reason, unless you're working and you have a permit, you're gonna get a ticket and a big ticket. It's at least $6,000 or $1. It's $1,000.
They're actually doing that again, man. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
It never ended up happening over here, but that does sound insane.
No, we had that for a while, in Quebec.
It was kind of like that. It was like that in a lot of places, but I feel like this time around, I don't know, man. It doesn't seem like it's as much of a threat as it was last year. I mean, obviously nobody wants to get it still, and it's still dangerous, but I don't think it's as dangerous as it was.
Well, yeah, this variant I know is, or at least we know, is a lot less severe.
It's less lethal.
Yeah, but it's much more contagious. So I already last time COVID hit, I knew a few people that got it. I kind of knew of people getting it. I knew a few people that got it. This time it feels like I know a lot of people. Two of my one of my buddies got it last time. The first time around he got it, and his family got it because his sister was in elementary school, and so obviously elementary school diseases everything spreads there so fast. So with COVID and a pandemic, it makes sense that they got it. They're not being risky. It's just they have a kid in elementary school. It happens, right? So he got it the first time around, and then his whole family got it again this time around. So they've been very unlucky. And then my other buddy's family got it. Their whole family got it too. So they both got it, which was crazy. It's been weird. It's been very weird. I know a lot of people getting it. I know my sister had it at one point. We weren't she lives in Toronto. It's in Toronto, well, Hamilton, but so we weren't really in contact. So I wasn't at risk, but still, I know a lot more people getting it now versus the first time. It felt like I didn't know as many people. So anyway, it's a little scary, but like you said, it's the world we live in, right?
Yeah, and then because of all this, I guess they're canceling Canada, or the NHL's not going to the Olympics, right? So there's that too.
Yep.
Which is I was pretty sad about that. I mean, I was really hyped about it. We were talking about it on or just all my friends, and then even people from the stream we'd always be talking about. Literally a year ago, we're okay, look at Canada's roster. Can you believe McKinnon, McDavid, and Crosby are on one team? We're just talking about this, and all the players gonna be on that team, and super excited about seeing it, and it's just not gonna happen.
That one's a bummer, man. That one's a bummer. That one
Yeah.
hurts a lot more in the World Juniors. I
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
wanted
To you,
see
yeah,
one.
because you don't care
And
about the
you-
prospects.
Dude,
but-
all of the rosters would have been. It would have been a really good
Oh,
like
the ones
Olympics.
in 2014 was Sochi, right?
yeah, that was a
Yes.
good tournament.
Dude,
But
oh my god, that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
amazing, man.
that was the Chris Kunitz
hockey,
year,
too.
right?
Oh,
That was
yeah.
Chris Kunitz
Yeah,
year?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The thing with Canada that year, they were just how we were talking about Tampa Bay. It was like that's how they were in the Olympics. It was just they were just unstoppable, man.
Yeah, that was Price with a 962 or something.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
crazy. He allowed like one goal or less in every game except for one.
yeah,
It was crazy.
yeah.
Man, that was a tournament, man. That was a good time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on from the sadness that is COVID because it is a very serious topic that honestly, let's move on from because it's sad and I don't want to be sad the whole time. So let's move on to the Vancouver Canucks and the Bruce There It Is movement. I think Berdaman, you're the right guy to start us
Yeah,
off because
man.
you are a Canucks fan, right?
Yeah, no, I'm a huge Canucks fan. Listen, I see a lot of people around the league are just calling it corny or whatever. You know what? As a Canucks fan, I'll tell you right now, we actually have something to like build or cheer around, you know? Everybody has their thing, or every team has their thing, but as corny as it can be, whatever. Listen, I've been to like a couple of games since Bruce has been here, and let me tell you guys, I've been to so many Canucks games, but the atmosphere now, it's like it's just all the way up here. Like everybody's actually
Yeah.
having fun at the games. There's actually like hope. There's just people just having fun, right? Like it just started like they just do it to everything now. Like everyone's just so happy with this team. I think what it was is everyone wanted Benning gone, everyone wanted Green gone, and it just got prolonged for so long. Like people wanted him back gone last year, and Benning he's been here for 8 years, right? So people have wanted him gone for like a long time.
Too long.
So when
man.
it finally
Too
happened,
long.
it just when it finally happened, I guess everyone was just super happy and there was like hope again.
Yeah.
And yeah, let me tell you guys, like honestly, everything that happens in the games now, it's just like Bruce, there it is. Like
Yeah.
there'll be like a offside call or whatever. Like so I was at the Winnipeg game and they Winnipeg scored, but it was offside. So Bruce challenged it and we got it right. So they called the goal back and Bruce there it was
Oh my
started off.
god.
When we got like a penalty or we got a power play, I mean, Bruce, there it is. You know what? I think it's just literally something for fans to rally around, and they're all enjoying it. So I think that's what it is. I don't know. How about you guys? How do you guys feel about the Bruce, there it is chant?
Working, man.
It's working.
Yeah.
It's working.
It's working. Yeah.
They haven't lost one. There's
No.
what,
7 in a row, right?
Now.
seven
yeah.
now?
Honestly,
Man.
I'm so happy for the Canucks
I wanted
as
to
a
make it.
Canadian, like as a Canadian,
Yeah.
like someone who lives in Canada as a Canadian, like I'm just happy to see Canadian teams doing well. It's been so long since we can be like, yeah, Canada. Like I know, like Canadian players dominate, like are a big part of this league, but Canada's teams have not been anything for so long. Like they haven't been the talk of the league for so long, and they still aren't necessarily. But like at least it's nice to see, Vancouver's starting to do better. Calgary's doing pretty well. Same with Edmonton. Toronto's doing well. The only guys, and so is Winnipeg. The only two teams in Canada that are kind of slowing down the race here is Ottawa and Montreal, which kind of sucks. The two French or more French part of Montreal, but. You know what? It is what it is. It's just nice as a Canadian to see some other Canadian teams doing well. So I'm very happy for the Canucks, and it's a long time coming, man. They deserve it.
Yeah, they finally got back to 500. I cannot I can't believe it, man. Like they were down so bad, so below, and I guess we won 9 in the last 10. So I mean that's crazy. There's still a long way to go to get to playoffs, but I mean there's still 50 games or
4
so
points
left.
out.
So, yeah, 4 points
man.
out. Isn't
Right
that crazy though? Like look at Edmonton. Like I always joke with my friends because one of our friends is an Edmonton fan, and
Here we go.
he was just super gassed, super gassed about the start of the year. I'm not gonna slander them, but I'm just saying like now they've come down to earth a little bit. and
Now they're bad. Let's just say it how it is.
now they're bad. They lost again last night too, and yeah.
I
NHL is weird, man.
I think they activated Mike Smith off IR.
Yeah, he played yesterday.
Bro, because I'm sorry,
wow.
Koskinen cannot save a beach ball. Why is he still there? Oh, right. Peter Chiarelli signed to a stupid contract the day before he was fired. Who signed off on that contract? How do you sign a contract the day before you get fired?
Yeah, I would assume ownership would look over it, right? Like,
Yeah, ownership has to
Yeah.
sign off on stuff like that. In the NHL, that's how it works. You have to get the owner to sign
Well,
off
was
on
he
contracts.
playing like well enough at the time?
No, he had
I think
played
it was
like
like
16
He was
games.
he was okay.
I think he was like
and-
decent. I think he was all right.
Yeah,
but
but
yeah, he only played like 16
He had
games.
played
or so.
like 16 games. Everybody knows you don't sign a goalie after 16 games because the teams haven't figured him out yet. The reason why that guy got his contract is because he's like 6'1". Like, I don't know what else to
Yeah.
say. The guy's just really tall.
Yeah.
Like, that's all it is. Like, his pads are probably my height. You know, I'm 5'11". His pads are my height. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I remember
Well, at
when that
least
deal was
Koskinen
signed.
got to pay.
Hey, you know what? Get your money, man. Honestly,
Get your money, man.
Get your
Get
money.
your money.
Yeah.
I can't be mad at him. He got his money. You know what I mean? I don't blame him.
Yeah.
And now he's gonna like when he loses his job in Edmonton, you know that there's gonna be teams that take a flyer on him because that's just how the league is.
Yep.
Where like
Yeah.
if for some reason you had that image of being a decent goalie at one point, you're just always gonna have it. So teams are just gonna
Yeah.
keep rolling the
Mhm.
dice on him. So like
Martin
he'll be
Jones,
in the league
man.
for another. Yeah, exactly. Like
Shout out
this guy will probably be in the league for another 3-4 years.
Yeah. As long
I
as
think
you
probably
play.
longer, to be honest. But yeah, like you are right. Like any team that's probably gonna take a chance on him that needs a goalie or doesn't have like a
Mhm.
number one starter goalie, right?
That's how. Yeah, Nick, you're 100%
Yeah.
right. That's how the league works. The second you've played, like, I think for players it's different as well. Like, you have to play a bit more games, but the second you've played a certain amount of games in the NHL or had even like a tiny bit of success, any team's gonna take a chance on you.
Yep.
Like, let's say you're a
It's
depth
like
player on the Stanley Cup.
especially the cup. Like if you win the cup and you do something in a cup run,
Mhm.
you're good.
Like, if
And
you-
the
Yeah.
Rangers
Oh, yeah.
are guilty of that with
Yeah.
signing Gaudreau to that 6-year or whatever $3 million deal. Like it's just all the time
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Like, if you're
All
a depth forward who scored an overtime winner in a playoff game, you're set. You're gonna get at least $2 million every contract. You know what I mean? Like, it's just,
Mm.
Yep.
It's just, yeah, it's weird, man. It's a weird league. It is what it is.
Yeah.
It's like you score that one goal, you're like, yep, that goal is worth, yep, that's worth $2 million. Thank you.
Is Koskinen's contract over this year?
Yeah, I think
Is it
so.
4 years really up?
I think
Damn.
so.
And then I guess Smith is probably done this year too, right?
Yeah.
I think, did they sign a 2-year deal with Smith? I thought it was a 2-year deal.
I
Maybe.
don't know. I think he should retire though. I wouldn't be surprised if he just retires.
Is he 40? I think he is 40.
I think he's
right?
more than
think
40.
so.
I think he's like 41 or 42. I don't know. I feel like he's pretty old.
Mike Smith?
He-
Is that what we're
he's
talking
on the older side.
Yo, the guy, though, when he's healthy, he's still a very good goalie.
Yeah.
I have him in fantasy
When
hockey.
he-
Guys, he was playing
when-
very well before he got
When he
injured.
doesn't play the puck. Yeah.
Yeah,
about?
when he doesn't
We're
play
talking about
puck.
Smith. We're talking about
Yeah.
Mike Smith here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's still a good
Dude,
goalie.
he's a very good goalie, man. When
He
he's
had a really
on,
good
he's
year last
on.
year. Yeah.
Yeah, even this
Mhm.
year though, he's off to a great start this season. Like, he was
Mhm.
giving them really good goaltending, and then he got injured. Like,
Yeah, I was surprised. I was like, he's not gonna
Yeah.
replicate last year, but he did have a good start to his year before he got injured.
yeah, no, because I had Darcy Kemper in fantasy hockey, and every time he put up an 888, and I saw Mike Smith put up a consistent like 918, I was like, all right, Mike Smith,
Yeah.
welcome to my fantasy hockey team. Then after
Mike
like a week or
Smith
two of,
is
I think
the
after 2
option.
weeks, what?
Mike Smith is the option.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
after 2 weeks
yeah.
of him playing really well, he got injured. I was like, ah, crap. But like, I still have him on my IR. Like, I think they activated him off IR. I think he's healthy now. Although I think they're just desperate. I think he might be playing injured because Koskinen just
Oh, yeah.
doesn't like. I don't think the players have faith in this guy. Like, they just go out there and they probably look like a different team. I know Montreal, whenever they play in front of a goalie who's not named Carey Price, they look like themselves, a bad team. But in front of Carey Price, they look like a decent team because they're able to take risks and they're able to make riskier plays that wouldn't normally work because they have Carey Price, who's going to save too many breakaways and odd man rushes compared to most goalies. So
Random topic change, but I just got an update that Patrik Laine is coming back to play the
let's
Predators.
Yes.
go. I love
Okay.
Laine, dude. I have him in fantasy hockey. I've been waiting so
Yeah.
long.
I want to see him do good, man. I wanna
He
see
was
him do
doing
good.
well. He's getting a lot of
Okay.
assists too. He was playing with
Yeah.
Domi. They're having a great season. Him, Domi, and Voracek are having really good seasons in Columbus.
It's kind of weird that after Tortorella left, these players are looking good.
Yo, that's a good point though. That's the Tortorella effect. After he leaves, teams play better.
Yeah.
But
Come on,
also-
they had a good run with
Yeah.
him.
He did coach well at least that one run.
He's
Yeah.
just, he's a different type of coach. He's not a coach for superstars. Like, that's just not the players that play well under him. Or, I
Think
mean,
of how many
not
superstars left under
necessarily,
him.
but more so like not Laine's. Laine's aren't.
Well,
I can't think of another player like
He just
Laine that
wants
he
to play
coached.
Fortnite. Any coach that just wants
Yeah,
to
yeah.
play Fortnite.
Well-
I actually got to watch him coach the Rangers for a while, and the guy that he kind of rode while he was coaching was Gabrick a lot, but Gabrick still played well. But
Gabrick didn't like him,
was
though.
the same thing. Gabrick hated Tortorella because it was the same thing about not playing defense, not blocking shots, and all that. But like Gabrick was just so good that it didn't really matter. Like he still scored his goals anyway.
Yeah. And it's funny you guys say that. Like, think of how many superstars ran out of town in Columbus. Like, I know Bobrovsky, in hindsight, you probably don't look at that as a bad thing, but I mean, he's playing really well again, so in a way, I guess he's a star again. But
Yeah, but that was a lot of stars that left.
But at the
and
time, it was
pretty much
Bobrovsky,
time.
Duchesne,
Yeah.
Bobrovsky, Duchesne, Panarin,
And Aaron.
and someone else, I think, as well. And I don't.
Breadman.
Pardon?
Breadman.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Breadman, of
Breadman,
course. But like,
yeah.
I think someone else left at some point too, or like right before that as well. So like, they always lose stars, and a lot of them were for nothing. Like Panarin walked. You know what I
I
mean?
think they all just left in free agency, didn't they?
Yeah. Did Duchesne leave it? Yeah, because he left and signed in Nashville. So like,
Mhm.
so many people just walked out of Columbus because they didn't want to play for this guy. And I don't know if it's Jarmo Kekalainen's fault. I'm sure he offered them the money. But like I wouldn't want to. I would like if I could get the same money playing for a different coach than for a guy I hate. I would go to the other place. That's simple.
Do you think it's like? Do you think it was Torch? Do you think it's like Columbus being in Columbus and playing in there? What do you think
No,
about that?
I think it's
didn't-
towards being towards.
You think it's Torch being Torch?
Because honestly, I watch Columbus games sometimes, and I watch the highlights. I love the Columbus crowd. Like, they sound so fun. They sound so loud and happy, and like, I love their cannon that they use. So it's a good time, man. I like watching their games. They seem very exciting, and I know it's a bit of I think it's a bit of a university town. But they also like have like an identity as being like a the Blue Jackets are kind of like a blue collar, worker class team.
Yeah.
That's kind of like their identity, right? So they identify as being a team that works hard and is going to outwork you. I think they still have that in like Boone Jenner, even Bjorkstrand, those guys, and Texier and all them. But you still need your stars. You still need people like Laine. Domi's a perfect fit for that because he works hard and can be a star. So I really like that fit for them. So like you need the stars like that, but you also need the guys who are going to work hard. So I think they just tried. I think Tortorella's problem is he tries to make everybody into like the work guy. But you need a good mix. You need both. You can't just have everyone be the work guy because who's going to freaking score a goal? You know what I mean? Anyway, that it is what it is. So I don't blame Columbus itself and the fans. I think they deserve their stars, and I think they deserve like a winning team. But I think Tortorella was confusing the idea of having everybody be a work team and having your identity as a team being a team that works hard. You know what I mean? There's a difference, right? So
Yeah.
Well, he's gone, and
Seth Jones left as well. I just remembered, like, he's another guy that left from there.
but that
another
Seth
star.
Jones trade
Yeah.
is going to be so good for them, man. They got a first. Well, they flipped first, but Adam Boqvist, that kid's going to be good.
Yeah.
You also you nearly had to re-sign him too.
To
So,
$9 million.
Yeah.
Shout out.
What an offseason it was for
Chicago.
defensemen, man. Like, the amount of deals that were signed, like, they're all crazy deals, too.
Get your money, guys. Get your money now. I don't know how the NHL is like saying, "Oh, we have no money." Then, hey, Seth Jones, here's $9 million a season. Hey, Pietrangelo, here's $9 million a season. Hey, everybody else, here's $9+ million a season. It's like, wait, do you have money or do you not?
Nurse as well.
Nurse as well.
Nine.
Makar got a big contract as well, but it was like less years. I think it was less years, but
But it's also Cale Makar.
Yeah.
no, of course.
Of course.
Makar's the only
It's
one
all
that
look
makes
ahead.
sense there.
Of course. I'm not saying Cale
Jones-
Makar didn't deserve his money. I'm just saying it's crazy how they go from, we have no money to offering these giant contracts.
Yeah, and then you see like random like fourth line, or not fourth line, but like top 9 players getting like $6 million. You know, like that year that Lucic got his deal, and then there were the other guy. Who were the other ones that got crazy
but
contracts that
Lucic
summer,
Lad.
man?
That was a few
Lad,
years
yeah,
ago,
yeah,
though.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
Lucic has like
dude,
9 goals,
what
doesn't he?
the hell, man?
Lucic is
And then
playing
Jeff
well.
Skinner. Jeff
Yeah.
Skinner gets 9
Yeah.
mil the other year.
That's
Like,
funny.
what
You know what it
the
was? I
hell,
think
man?
with Jeff Skinner, like honestly, I think like Buffalo's like, please don't leave us and just threw all the money at him.
They had to,
Yeah,
because he would have left. He
yeah.
would have.
The problem with the Jeff Skinner contract, though, is right after they signed him to that deal and after his first season, they immediately said, okay, you're no longer playing with Eichel. We don't want you playing with Eichel. What'd you expect was going to happen?
That was a mistake.
Yeah.
That was definitely a mistake, man.
Buffalo was down bad, man.
You
Even the whole Eichel situation was like, it was annoying me too, man. I'm not even involved.
I know,
was like, just,
I know.
just
Dude,
let him get the
Getting back-
surgery.
when is he going to play for Vegas? Does
I
anybody
think
know?
February. I think.
but
just-
but he's
February.
getting back earlier,
Yeah.
though. His
think so?
Yeah, he's been making a lot of progress.
Yeah.
He's like supposedly it might be early February or like really like end March, early February because he's made so much progress and he's he's
Yeah.
healing fast. So
I think his goal was to like be here for the Olympic breaks, and now, I mean, it seems like he's on track or even ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
like, well, I don't know
That's
if
not
the
going to be good for us, for Vancouver.
Yeah, I don't know if the NHL is going to have the Olympic break because
No, I don't think so.
they've postponed so
No.
many games. Where are you going to fill that
Yeah.
in? So I think they're just
No,
going to
they
play
are.
through.
Yeah. No, that is what they're doing.
They're going to
They're
play
using
through.
that.
They have
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on here. We got the Arizona San Jose Sharks game. We got, I think, two of you guys both like the Sharks. Hey, I know Nick, you like the Sharks. Ponchi, you do too, right?
Mhm.
I like playing as them in verses.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
That's
I
the
thought you
same
guys were
thing.
both
Yeah.
fans of them.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Yeah.
Well, the San Jose Sharks beat the Arizona Coyotes 8-7 in a shootout. So last podcast, we were all talking about how James Reimer and Scott Wedgwood were low key having good seasons, and first game back after that episode, they decided to do that. Let in 8 goals and 7 goals apiece. So, I don't know if the SNBP podcast has a jinx, but if you were to argue that we do have one, that would be evidence number 1. So, what do you think happened in that game? What happened to the goaltending? Or were the skaters just that good at shooting? What do you
I
guys
think, because when I was watching the game, I don't want to throw blame on Reimer or Wedgwood, but Wedgwood, you got me like -10 fantasy points, so I appreciate that. So, no, I think both teams had just lots of energy, but they were just like, they're shaking off the rust.
Yeah.
It like the Sharks were playing well, relatively speaking, because at least they're putting up goals.
Yeah.
And that's one of the one things like San Jose struggled with. But on the defensive side, I think this is more of a case that San Jose had a game. This was their game to lose.
And they almost did.
So I know like we've got a couple injuries right now, but it's the Arizona Coyotes.
7
yeah,
Who's
win
injured
Arizona
for
Coyotes.
San Jose?
Got the 2 points.
Yeah.
You
All that
got-
matters.
Yeah.
Balser's injured. I think Aiden Hill's injured, so that's why they didn't pull Reimer.
Yeah. Who's their backup right
Um,
now? Do you know?
Is it Coronar? Is he still there?
No, Coronar's in Arizona.
Oh. I thought he was in San Jose before. I think he got traded then.
He got traded for Hill.
Yeah, okay. That's what it was.
Okay.
Interesting.
So it could either have been Melnichuk, could have been that. There's so many goalie prospects.
Goalies without really
Yeah,
any
yeah, yeah.
experience, is what you're saying.
But yeah,
It's like the
Yeah.
Canadians right now. They have
Oh,
I
San
think,
Jose does have a
2
bunch of
goalies?
goalie prospects, right?
yeah, they've got a fair
Yeah.
amount, but
Yeah.
they're all on the younger side. And I don't think they could have been recalled really fast because the
Mhm.
Barracuda just had a COVID outbreak.
Mm,
Okay. Right.
But
COVID,
I don't know.
man.
But yeah. So, but the nice part was like Eric Carlson, gotta plug him. He's skating well. He's up and down. Brent Burns, they're all playing with energy and high intensity.
Yeah.
I think this was a case of just like first game jitters, shaking off the rust, and like, yeah, I think they just got hungry and wanted to score.
That's fair. So would you say that Eric Carlson's resurgence is thanks to the chewing tobacco? Because
I think
I've seen him chewing some tobacco out there. he seems like he's having a good time for the first time in so long. Like he looks genuinely happy to be on the ice. So it's nice to see him smiling, chewing some tobacco, and having a good time. He's got a nice little head rush going.
I think it's because he cut the hair.
Oh yeah, just weighing him down.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know. I think Carlson finally he just had small injuries here and there, and I think after the good break he had, all these small injuries are going away, and you're seeing him play to his full potential.
Yeah,
right.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
it's nice to see him back to himself. Although
he's still an adventure defensively, though. He's still an adventure out there, man. I saw the 7th goal that Arizona scored, and it was somebody just wide open in front of the net, and Carlson was just doing that thing that he likes to do, where he just stands there, kind of just a stick, and he's kind of leaning back, and he tries to make it look like he's trying to defend, and last second, as the puck is going, and he's like, oh shit. He does that a lot, man. Offensively, he looks really good right now. Looks really good. He's passing it well. He's skating well, but it's just that defense, man. It's the defense. I don't know. It's kind of always. It's never really been his thing. He's more of a rover, but I feel like if he starts to buy in more defensively, then who knows? Maybe San Jose can get in the playoffs and actually do something there.
Honestly, the Pacific is pretty open. Honestly, especially if Calgary and Edmonton are both losing a lot. Vegas looks like they're running away at first in the division without even Eichel here yet. So, yeah, so there's that, and I think that Pacific is pretty open. Even LA is kind of in the discussion. San Jose is there.
The Ducks.
Oh yeah, the Ducks. Yeah,
that's a very fun division right now because there's so many teams that are kind of just competing with each other for that one spot or those few spots there.
The only one that's out of it is Seattle, which we were talking about last time. We just don't know what they're doing.
Bro, that expansion draft, man, I'm telling you.
Do you think they just wanted a mid-team and get Bedard? Do you think that's what it was?
No, they thought they were going to be good. And honestly, the reason I think a lot of people thought they were going to be good too, especially in analytics, but their team analytically is not bad. You got Eberle, you got Schwartz. Defensively, they're great. They have a really good defense core. They have good forwards who can score and play very well their own end. They're built like the Islanders in some ways like that.
Yeah.
Their biggest issue is Grubauer and even Driedger, man. They're both playing so bad. It's not even you can't even predict how terrible their goaltending has been. They've had the worst save percentage, I think, in the entire league from all their goalies. And that's not something you could predict. That's just goaltending being goaltending in the NHL. You can have some guy come out of nowhere. For example, Zach Fucale, who got his first shutout in Washington? Was that Zach Fucale? I think it was. And that guy he was supposed to be the next Carey Price. Everyone was freaking out. Never makes the NHL. Comes in one random game, puts up a shutout, and then just goes back to the AHL. This game is so bizarre. I love it for all its insanity, and that's why we love hockey.
Well, 2 years ago, we had a Zamboni driver pull out a win against the Toronto Maple Leafs. So
that's hockey, baby. What can I say?
It's hockey.
Yeah, Aren't they making Oh, go on, Nick.
We got a good comment here in chat talking about Seattle needing to mesh, or that one too. But first, I want to we can talk about that after the Seattle thing. The comment I want to make here. So, in terms of a team meshing, I think the biggest problem with Seattle right now is that they didn't get a coach to get the team to mesh. The whole reason Vegas never happens without Gallant. Never happens without Gallant. He got that team to buy in to that Misfits, the whole whatever that thing they had going on. He got them to buy into that day one, and that's why they meshed. Dave Haxtell, not the coach, man. Not the coach. That was the mistake. This team, honestly, I think this team isn't as bad as they look right now. Even though they're losing games, I really don't think they're as bad as they look, and I think it's the big reason they're not doing well is because of Haxtell, man. That guy just there's no identity to that the teams that he coaches. Like, what's the identity that Seattle has right now?
Yeah, I
Like,
don't know.
Seattle should be a team like Vegas. Like, they should have some, like fire in their
Some
game,
swagger
something
too.
like that.
A little bit of swagger
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah, and they don't have it.
yeah.
Like, Hackstall's just not that coach, man.
Although,
Yeah, I got like.
yeah.
Go on.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying I got like 2 points for that. Like number one was I don't know why they didn't get Gallant. He was there, and he literally just did this 4 years ago. Like just to
Yep.
start an expansion team. Like it
Or
seems like such a
Boudreaux.
yeah. It seemed like such a
Like-
slam dunk thing to do. But yeah. The other thing is like I'm gonna be honest. Even when I saw the expansion draft thing, I was like, I don't know where their offense is gonna come from. Like I know they had Eberle and they had McCann. McCann had potential for sure. But outside of that, I really didn't know. But that being said, Gallant got so much out of like so little as well. Like we didn't think so much of some of those players, and I feel like he would have definitely done a great job there. I was surprised it took this long for Gallant to get hired. Like I was like, there's so many options he could have went to. But you guys, he's on the Rangers now, right? You guys have Gallant? Yeah, okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was just my 2 cents about Seattle.
And he's the beauty.
That's fair.
All right, Calder talk. Quick Calder talk.
Let's talk about
yeah.
the Detroit Red Wings and why they have 3 runners for the Calder Trophy. Is it 3? I think no, it's 2. Moritz Seider and Lucas Raymond.
Seider,
Yeah.
who's Seider
Raymond?
and
Raymond.
Okay.
Seider and Raymond.
They're both playing very well. Honestly, I think Seider should probably have the lead because he's a defenseman putting up as many points as he is, and he's very much quarterbacking that blue line. So he's taken over a bit for Hronek there, I feel like. Him and Hronek as a 1-2 punch on that right side is really nice. For Detroit, I think Steve Yzerman's done a great job at piecing together this team and giving these young rookies the right pieces beside them. Like Vlad Nemestikov was a great pickup. He's doing very well. You know, and I think their blue line and even their goaltending's been playing great. Like Nedeljkovic, what a steal! How does Steve Yzerman be like, all right, try to pick up the phone, call Carolina, and say, hey, I'll give you like a 3rd round pick for Nedeljkovic, and they just say yes.
The problem was he was gonna walk. They were gonna lose him.
He was an RFA, wasn't he? An RFA?
Yeah. But they had.
I don't know.
What the fuck was the risk?
I think they had something with their goaltending. They were trying to sort them out.
Yeah, he gave the right. He gave up a 3rd round pick for the rights to talk to him early, and like, dude, that was nothing to give up, and you probably knew he was going to sign because he wasn't asking for a lot of money anyway. And Carolina was like, we don't really want to sign him to that much money, so they let him go and then signed Freddie Anderson to more money.
In all fairness, though, Freddie Anderson's playing well.
He's playing very well, but Carolina has that effect on goalies where they just make everybody look great.
Yeah,
they have an amazing blue line. They have Slavin, Pesci. You know what I mean? They got those guys there. Got Brady Shea even who's still there. Trevor Van Riemsdyk's a great defensive defenseman. You got Tony DeAngelo. I think I'm forgetting someone too on the left side.
I'm forgetting face stuff.
Jake Bean.
Yeah.
No, Jake Bean's not there anymore. He's in Columbus.
Jake Bean's in Columbus.
Who's the other guy on
Slavin?
defense?
Ethan Bear.
Ethan Bear.
Oh yeah, they do have Ethan Bear. That was a good pickup by them, man.
Because who's playing with Tony? Who's playing with Tony DeAngelo? I know there's Slavin, Pesci, DeAngelo, but who's the other guy?
Slavin's playing with DeAngelo right now, and then Shea, Pesci, Bear, Cole.
That's Ian Cole too. That's a great defensive defenseman. It's like honestly, Carolina's been very smart with their signings. They dropped Dougie Hamilton. Like, we can pick up Tony DeAngelo for $1 million and just play him because people have already moved on from the Tony DeAngelo story. So, and he's apologized many times on social media, which was the right thing to do. He went out, he apologized, and they waited a year to sign him. I mean, at a certain point, you have to give someone a chance to show that they've changed. And I haven't heard much from Tony DeAngelo, although I haven't really.
I think he learned his lesson.
Yeah, I think he's been very quiet, and honestly, I think he made the right call. He's being paid $1 million to play in the NHL. Next year, he's going to make a shit ton of money by whoever wants to sign him, and he's set.
And then he can talk trash again.
And then he can talk shit because he can get bought out. So, dude, it's So, bro, so sorry, real quick. Hockey makes a great point here. Carolina offered him $1.5 million, and Nedeljkovic was asking for $3.5. And Carolina was not willing to cough up the extra $2 million because reasons. And then
how much did they pay Anderson though?
A lot. And then Yzerman got him for $3 million a year.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dude, Steve
I think-
Yzerman is
I think
making
what
these
they
guys
wanted-
look like
I mean, listen,
idiots, man.
Anderson's been good, so
I think they just wanted
You
an
know.
established guy like that. That's
Yeah.
how I see it.
yeah, and in their in their defense, I mean, we didn't really know about Nedeljkovic. Like we, obviously he had a good year, but plenty of guys have like a one-off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So
like,
it's-
if you can lock up a young goalie to a $3.5 million deal per like annual contract
Yeah.
for like
Mhm.
3 years, that's an amazing contract for a starting goalie in the NHL. Usually a starting goalie goes for around 6, a good one.
Yeah.
And Nedeljkovic has been
is he
amazing.
a guy that you think can win a Stanley Cup right now? Not maybe in the future, but like right now, do you think he could win a cup?
I think he's better pedigree than Freddie Anderson. Freddie Anderson's
Really?
proven that he can't play in the playoffs. He's proven it already.
He's also been
He's also
stuck
been on the Leafs, but
Yeah, Leafs. Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
think he's had a pretty good record in Anaheim. No,
Yeah.
he had a
I
decent
wouldn't.
record in Anaheim. Yeah,
Mm.
but the
I
thing,
wouldn't blame the
Prospects are
playoffs on
weird.
him. I mean, I don't even like Anderson, but I just seeing how the games go out, and I know even last year he was injured,
nah,
and
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm
I'm
just trying to
sorry,
think of the
but-
thought
I'm sorry,
process
but
by
a couple of-
Carolina. Like that to me is probably what they're thinking.
Mhm.
And
No,
yeah, I missed
kind of
that,
like
what
what
you said.
Berta's saying. Like that's
Yeah.
just that thought process of wanting a guy who's been in the league, has been
Yeah.
in the playoffs often. He's
Yeah,
Yeah, I
because
get
when you
that.
look at Carolina, they're just like they're almost there. Like they're almost so
They're
close
so
to being.
close.
Yeah, so I feel
Yeah.
like they're like that might be what they need, which makes sense in theory, right? So I mean, we'll see how it plays out this year, but yeah, they got a good team, man. Good defense. Their forwards are stacked. Svechnikov is playing great. Aho's great.
Yeah.
They're gonna be tough to play in the playoffs this year.
Look, I'm not trying to say like Freddie Anderson's not a good goalie because I think he's a great goalie.
Right.
I just think he's proven that he lets in really weak goals in some really important games. I remember watching some of the Toronto, because I don't think Montreal was in the playoffs at this point. I think they were kind of like middling. I think that was either the year they missed the playoffs by 1 point or the year before where they middled out. So I remember I was watching Toronto. I was actually cheering for them. Like, yo, let's go Toronto, represent Canada. Let's beat Boston. Let's go. And Toronto was up in the series, and then
Yeah.
and then I don't remember who it was. Was it Matt Grzelcyk or it was some depth guy? I think he's on Columbus now. I don't remember his name. He's a depth guy on Columbus who played for Boston for a few years. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. He just skates in, crosses the blue line, takes a wrist shot from the point, and scores on Freddie Anderson, not screed, to take the lead. And I'm like, or to tie the game. And I'm like, buddy, make a save. And then Jake DeBrusk is basically being tackled by Jake Gardner, basically shovels the puck towards the net, and Freddie Anderson's like, here's a hole in my arm that you can score through. And I'm like, oh, okay, you had one job and just cover the short side and you'll make the save, because the Jake DeBrusk is literally falling down and can't do anything else. And he couldn't do it because he lost his net.
Are we talking about the year when they was like a 4-1 choke for the Leafs in the third? Is it that one?
I
or whatever
think that was that. No, that was
no,
the.
that's just more recent.
That was
Okay,
like 2013. I think that was like James.
2019.
Oh, they've done it twice over. I think that the
Yeah.
other one was James Reimer with Bergeron scored a
Rough.
hat trick or something, or scored the winning goal in overtime.
Poor
crazy.
Toronto.
Honestly, we were supposed to speak about favorite hockey memories. It's not my favorite, but that's definitely one of the funniest for me because
That is a
I used
good
to
one.
live in Toronto and like I have so many Toronto fans or friends that are just fans of the Leafs, and it was just too funny, man.
Yeah, that is
man.
definitely something you can just torment Leafs fans and people who follow the Leafs with forever, and
Yeah.
they'll never live it down. Like I've watched Steve Dangle's reaction to it, I think like 100 times.
Yeah, that one, and one of my other friends is a Vegas fan, and he bought a Vegas hat the day that they played the Sharks and they lost to the Sharks. Oh my god, that one is.
Well,
that
do we
was
want to
too
talk
funny.
about favorite hockey memories if we're gonna?
Yeah, I guess go for it.
I
Unless you
think
guys
so.
wanna...
'Cause-
Okay, yeah,
yeah, because now that you mention it, that's
Oh.
one of my favorite hockey memories.
right. Oh, that was insane.
Yeah, well, like the whole series was just really good.
Mm-hmm.
They won the first one, and then they just hit like, I'm not gonna swear, but they crapped the bed. Because it was just like, I don't know, it was like one game was close. Martin Jones, our third game, Martin Jones, like just crapped the bed, and then now we're down 3-1. And Tomas Hertl with the coldest line, "We are better than them. We'll see you in 7. I will see you back here for Game 7." And he pulled the Mark Messier. He guaranteed the series win. But like big shout out to like Martin Jones, because
52 saves.
game 6 he puts up 56 saves to
Was
force
it
a Game 7.
save shutout, or was it like 56
Yeah.
out of 58 or something?
It was like I think it might have been
They won
56.
that. Was that an overtime win?
I
Game
think
6?
so.
Yeah.
Tomas Hertl
Yeah,
scored
it was Barclay
shorthanded.
Goodrow who scored, I thought.
No,
Didn't
that was
Barclay-
game 7. Game 7 was the.
That was
overtime one. I
Barclay
was trying to
Goodrow,
remember
game
game
seven.
6.
Game 7 was the overtime winner. I think there was 2 overtime winners because Tomas Hertl scored shorthanded.
Because didn't Barclay Goodrow win in the series against Vegas?
Yeah,
And that,
so
that next year they
Yeah.
traded him for a first round pick.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a testament to what we were talking about.
Yo, you get that one goal in the playoffs, and yo,
And
here's
you're
your
good to
money,
go.
here's your
Yeah.
picks. Like, it's crazy, man. I
And
love
yeah.
this league. It's ridiculous.
and I love you Vegas fans for getting mad at me every time every time I bring up the fact that you choked.
I'm sorry, but I don't know what that 5-minute major was. Like,
Okay. It could have been a double minor.
I do feel bad for Pavelski. Obviously, like, no one wants to see that, especially to a guy like Pavelski. But like, Cody Eakin didn't really do much.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
just
But
kind of
also,
won
like,
the face off.
Don't
Like,
give up 4 goals in a 5-minute period.
Yeah, but like, it's a 5. Yeah, I agree with you. And like, they should have
Yeah.
been able to kill off that penalty, that 5-minute major with less than. But like, think about it. Like, San Jose pulls the goalie. It's 6-on-4 for 5 minutes. You're gonna score a lot of goals, man. Like, it's just, I don't know. I think that Vegas definitely should have won that game. They should have won that game.
Yeah.
And I remember watching that. No, I'm with you, Punch. It's a great memory, and I think it's hilarious that it happened. Because it gives Vegas so much, even a good history already, having just been in the league.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Vegas has already had a lot of playoff upset in their very short history, that you can kind of be like, okay, you know what? I could root for you to win a cup because you've been through some shit, and I want to see you win. You know? So like,
Nah, I feel like most of the league doesn't. Most fans
no,
don't want to see.
I
them
would
win.
love to see them win. You got Max
Screw 'em.
Pacioretty, Mark Stone, and Jack Eichel on a line representing the Atlantic Division from 2000 and whatever.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
so down. I'm so
No, it'd be
down.
cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I like them still. But I know a lot of people don't, because
Well-
their teams suck. So they take
think
it out. They
that's-
take their anger out on Vegas now.
Yeah.
Mm.
But the nicer part is now, like, San Jose and Vegas have this rivalry going on. And last year in the bubble, it was rough, actually. It was starting to get, like, borderline, like, nasty.
Yeah, that's
Which is good-
arguably
which
the
is good for
greatest
the game.
rivalry. That's arguably the greatest one in the game right now.
Vegas and San Jose.
Yeah.
Is there
That
even
and,
many? I
like,
can't even think
Battle
of
of
many right
Alberta.
now. Yeah, Battle of Alberta. Yeah, that's
Battle of
right.
Alberta's
But
good.
it's good for the game
Yeah,
because
I
then
like
you get
it.
these,
I
like,
tune in
rivalries.
for those games, man. I watch.
Colorado, Detroit. Hockey's saying Colorado, Detroit, and low key, as a Habs fan, I dislike the Philadelphia Flyers. There is something
Really?
about the
Flyers?
Flyers. They beat us when we were on a run in with the Scott Gomez team. I hate that team. Scott Gomez, get off my Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah.
So that team, they beat us, and then
Thanks
not
for
too long.
McDonough.
Yeah, you're welcome.
2-time Stanley Cup
bro.
champion Scott Gomez.
God damn, man. It's another example. If you get those points, you get your money, man. Ah, God. All right, whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway,
And then
they beat us, and then in the bubble they beat us again, and like,
Yeah.
we were being reffed by what's his face there, the guy Tim Peel, I think it was. I think it's him, the ref there. He literally, I don't remember his name, but like I remember I was watching my girlfriend and my mom at the time during COVID, and she literally looks at me, and she's like, "Is this the ref?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Yeah, he's trending on Twitter." And I checked every game. I checked every game of that series. Tim Peel was trending on Twitter every time he reffed a Habs game. He was number 1 on Twitter on trending, number 1, because everyone knew he hated the Montreal Canadiens. And Brandon Gallagher gets a cross hit to the face, breaks his jaw, bleeding all over the place. Not a single penalty called. Guess what? Matt Niskanen was suspended 2 games after the game.
Mhm.
No call. No calling.
That's what annoys me the most, honestly, about reffing is when something like noticeably obvious happens, it should be a penalty. There's no penalty, then there's a suspension after. Like it's just like everybody knew it. The NHLPA, that's who deals with it, right?
Yeah.
Or like players
Yeah.
safety, they deal with it, and they knew it was a penalty, but no, just not in the game, not in the heat of the moment. It's not a penalty. It happens pretty often though, honestly. Like you see it a lot.
Oh
More
yeah,
often than
refs
it
missing
should.
calls and then it getting suspended. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like honestly, I'm all for having a fourth ref or a fifth ref, my bad, in the stands. Like not in the stands, but like in the press box
In the booth.
with a earpiece in, saying, "Yo, guys, watch this or look at this. Oh, you missed one. Oh, you know what I mean? Have someone
I
helping
would
them."
be down for that, but to what extent would that get to? Like, would that get to like? Because you know how sometimes they just don't call some things that are just I don't know, like what was like interference or some kind of like sometimes the game's rough and that's just how the game's going, right? Would that be like would that fifth or fourth ref or whatever? Would they just be like nope, this is a penalty, this is a penalty, and then call
Well,
every single thing?
Yeah,
That's
but
how that.
the thing is, though, if you start like honestly, I think you should do that. And yeah, maybe it'll be a little annoying at first because like, oh, so many penalties, and like teams
Right.
like the Oilers and
Yeah.
the Leafs who have great power plays will win more games. But players adapt. Like players are
Yeah,
not
that's
they're
true
not
too.
stupid.
Yeah.
Like they know
Yeah.
what goes and what doesn't. That's why cross-checking was in the game for so long. That's why players like Ben Sherratt were so good in the playoffs because he'd literally just cross-check everybody over and over again. No one would go to the front of the net because they're all injured, could barely breathe, probably have a few broken ribs because Ben Sherratt's cross-checking you over and over again.
Yeah.
So you stop going to the front of the net. And then, so if you just start calling that, you start calling that properly, players stop cross-checking. Like this year, they've started doing that. And cross-checking's been down a little bit. You're seeing more slew foots. So if they can crack down on that, that'd be nice. PK Subban, thank you. But you know what? It's a tough thing where refs, they're human. You know what I mean? Like they're human. Like they make mistakes, but you gotta eventually learn, man. Like you can't just keep making the same mistake over and over again. Like their biggest problem is consistency. So adding a guy who kind of observes the game outside of the game would help with that. Wouldn't you think?
I think
So-
in theory, I agree with you. Like it should work out.
Yeah.
But go on, Punch.
Yeah, sorry about well, because rugby has the booth ref. So what they can do is they can adopt the model where if a play is going on, they see a penalty, they'll wait for the next stoppage, and then the ref upstairs will go, hey, or the ref on the ice will go, hey, was there a potential penalty here? Or the one up there in the booth can go, hey, take a look at this, please. That way you can call power plays, whatever, and assess penalties, give it to them later. Because sometimes you do miss them, but I think it's more important that you can go back and look, and then you can get on with the game. Let them know, oh, this wasn't a penalty, or you know what, this is a penalty. We'll assign that. And it's a little bit of a
I like
culture
that
shift,
idea.
but yeah.
I like that idea, and I was thinking about it, but at the same time, it's like, where would you draw the line for what is and isn't a penalty? Because like, there's so many, like you guys all know it. There's so many little things that happen in a game that don't get called, like little slashes, trips.
That's what I was getting
hooks,
to as
you
well.
know?
Yeah.
Like
So it's like, where are you gonna like? Obviously, what happened to Pavelski? That's so egregious that like that needs to be called. But where's that line in the sand? You know?
maybe it's someone who would assess majors or things like that, or just big events like that.
Yeah, I think that would make more sense because it can't just be like the little things. Because then you're gonna start you're gonna be picking way too many things out of the game that kind of just need to be left alone. You know.
Yeah, but I think it's those majors that they need to focus on.
Right.
Like
like if you could see it on the replay and it's something obvious, then I feel like there should be like how sometimes like a goal goes in and they have like the buzzer go off in the arena.
Yeah.
Like it hits off like the back pipe and comes out, and like they didn't see it, so they freeze. They stop the play and they're like, oh, a goal happened. Like you should be able to do that for like huge penalties. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, no, I just think reffing definitely needs some oversight, and Or no,
But you know
has
what I
some
mean? It
oversight,
changes
like,
every
needs-
year. That's the problem.
True.
It changes every year. They change the rules every year.
No one knows what's.
Yeah.
No one knows what a
And then-
penalty is anymore.
And then they change them year to year, and then it's twice in a year. They change it for October, and then in April
Yeah.
they're like,
Yeah,
all right, well
April's
now these are the
completely
rules, and it's like,
yeah.
Well, that's what McDavid
You
was
know,
complaining about. Like,
Yeah.
I think before the season, or maybe it was when they lost in the playoffs, whatever it was. Like, he was complaining about that, saying like,
Yeah.
like, what is he meant to do, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Building on McDavid, and hockey makes a great point here that kind of connects with that too, is, you know, the playoffs also becomes a completely different game. Like I was saying with Ben Sherratt, he's allowed to cross-check whoever the F he wants, break their backs, give them cracked ribs. Like I was watching the Habs playoff
agree
games,
them.
I mean, I was loving it because, like, you know, it was fun hockey and the Canadians were winning, but we were winning because we were beating people up. We had people like Ben Sherratt and Anderson and Shea Weber just cross-checking, slashing. Like, it was a dirty, dirty playoff run, except for the Jets. The Jets was kind of just weird. We kind of swept them, and that was just a weird series. But Vegas was chippy. Tampa Bay was chippy. Toronto was very chippy, especially with Wayne Simmons and Ben Sherratt. It was crazy. But yeah, I agree with hockey, man, and I agree with Berdaman, what he was saying with McDavid. Like, it becomes a completely different game. You know, McDavid can go or went entire playoff series without drawing a single penalty. I don't think he's drawn a penalty in his playoff career, or if he has, it's like one. And that's
Yeah, I have no
ridiculous.
idea.
We're watching I think I already said this so many times on the podcast, but you watch McDavid get cross-checked. You watch him get tackled to the ice by two different skaters. You watch him get tripped, and the other guy just takes the puck, goes the other way in the playoffs, and the refs are just like, I didn't see it. What penalty?
Yeah.
I literally, and this is, again, as a Habs fan, this pissed me off like crazy. I watched Tim Peel, a ref, literally against the Flyers. I think at one point, one of their guys cross-checks or punches or does something really stupid after the whistle to one of our guys right in the face in front of the refs. He watches it happen, goes like this, and then looks back to pretend like he never saw it. He got caught on camera doing that, and everyone was like, "Oh,
Yikes.
okay."
Yikes.
And then after that, he didn't ref another Habs game. They called in a different ref crew because this guy was a joke. So
Yeah, refereeing is so odd sometimes. Even though somebody got fired too. It was during a Nashville game. I don't remember what the name was, but it was they got caught on mic. Why would you say this on? I don't even know. He was mic'd up, wasn't he? Is that how?
yeah,
they found out?
You're 100% right about that.
Oh my goodness.
He said I had to get a penalty early to Nashville to control the game or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
game management.
Yeah, God, man, it just shows how much of a little hand the NHL has on every single team. They're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you gotta fit this mold. Oh, you're too good. Hang on. You know what I mean? It's like they need everybody to have a chance, right? Everyone has to be equal in the NHL.
Right.
All right, let's delve back into our hockey memories here before we end off the podcast. I'm gonna bring up a nice little memory here that I have of when I was a kid in elementary school. So I was still pretty young. I had a certain bedtime that I couldn't break even during the playoffs because little Mike needed his sleep. I had to wake up super early to catch the bus. So this was during the Halak Habs playoff run. I remember in Montreal, this was a crazy run. Everyone was. It kind of reminded me a bit of the this past year's run. A little bit less crazy because this year was insane especially with COVID. Everyone was so hyped. The city was losing its mind because we've been so deprived of joy during COVID with all the restrictions. Anyway, this reminds me a bit of the Halak run too, where everyone was so overjoyed and so excited for this team. This is the year we lost to the Flyers, I think, actually. Pretty sure. Anyway, the point is, all I remember is I used to stay up super late, listen to these games on my grandfather's old radio. It was this old brown radio that we had, and I'd have to pick up the station like with the little turnstiles. It didn't have anything crazy.
Like the automatic. Yeah.
So I had to like pick up the station like that. I think I listened to TSN 690 at the time, and I still do because that's like the Habs radio station in Montreal. So I'd use my grandfather's old radio in my room next to my bed, and I'd like listen to it super late at night, trying to fall asleep while listening to the game. Obviously, my heart's pounding. I'm not sleeping. I'm listening to the game. So I remember doing that as a kid. That was so fun. Whenever the games would go late, that's what I was doing. I always remember after the games, they'd be playing, especially if we won, they'd play one of Lady Gaga's songs. Because at the time, Lady Gaga was huge. She still is big, but like this was peak peak Lady Gaga, and like everyone loved her in Montreal, especially with Bad Romance when that song came out. So that song and Lady Gaga has a special place in my heart as well because of this fun little playoff run that the Habs had with Halak before we let him go to St. Louis. So that's just kind of like a fun memory I want to share with you guys. Listen to my grandfather's old radio that he gave to my dad before he passed away, and I listened to Bad Romance after the Habs games, and that was always a nice memory. So that song, that radio, and that team always has a special place in my heart.
We're gonna have to have an outro to our podcast with Bad Romance.
Let's not get copyright striked. I'll pass, but we can sing it if you guys want.
You got this, man. You know it hard. You probably know it by heart.
No. There's no chance. I haven't heard it in a while.
Man.
But
mine. Are you done?
No, go ahead.
Okay. All right. Mine is obviously 2014 was a good year to be a Rangers fan. Sorry, Lazy. Much love, bro. But 2014 was awesome, and I got the pleasure of getting to go to Game 6 of the Pittsburgh series, which was at home, and it was, for those of you guys that don't know, that was when Marty St. Louis lost his mom, and so Game 6 was on Mother's Day, and I got to go to the game on Mother's Day at the Garden, and he scored in that game, and I don't think I ever have, and I don't think I ever will hear a building be louder than when he scored that goal. Like this place was like shaking from, like, I've never seen anything like that, never been a part of anything like that, and just to see him score, and like it was just like the craziest goal too. It just bounced off his shin pad, like it just had no, like, he didn't even do it. He was just standing there, and the puck just bounced off him and went in. But it was just like just in that moment, in that run, that goal, like when that happened, you just knew that the team was gonna win and that they were gonna win that series. And I hope we can get back to something like that someday, but I don't know, man. That was the best I'll ever see, or at least for a long time. And just that whole run, just seeing them after that, and the Montreal series. I mean, it's a shame that Price went out, because I think it would have been fun to see Price and Hank go at it, because that was peak both. That was peak Hank and Price.
Yeah.
So that would have been fun.
I hate Chris Carter, man.
Yeah.
But you know what? Hockey makes a great point in chat. It was meant to happen. He was meant to score that goal. I'm sure his mom was watching over that game, and
absolutely,
he was meant to score that goal. And I think, honestly, even as anybody who's a hockey fan, seeing that goal, you were kind of moved. You're like, okay, like, let's go.
Yeah, those goals happen.
Sports is crazy like that.
You got a gift.
Yeah,
it's a lot more than just a sport.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's when that game means more than hockey. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got, Berta? What's yours?
I got so many.
2011. 2011.
You can probably guess it. But I got so many. But I'll say probably like one of my first favorite hockey moments was probably the Burrows goal in overtime against Chicago.
The Dragon, baby.
Yeah, man. The call was great, but like building up to that, we were good for a few years, and then we had a crazy regular season. Previous 2 years, we lost to Chicago twice, and like I was a Canucks fan before that, but it was like that was like the first time I'm really like, this team is really good. I really latched onto that core: Luongo, Kessler, Burrows, Bieksa, Sedins. Right, that's like my first core I really latched onto, and I like losing to Chicago back-to-back years. I honestly, that was my first like hate for any team. I was just like, are you kidding me again? And I just hated Patrik Laine. I hated hearing Chelsea Dagger so much, over and over again. And then we were up 3-0 against Chicago in 2011 in the series, and then we lost Game 4, and then we lost Game 5, and then we lost Game 6. And I'm like, are you serious? Are we gonna lose 3 years in a row? We're winning 1-0 in the game in Game 7. Taves ties it so late in the game, and then Burrow's like, oh my goodness, it was such a random. He just grabbed the puck, and it was just so random, and I lost it, man. I lost it. My dad lost it. He doesn't like. He watches the games like he's been here since like the start of the Canucks organization, and he's watched all of them, and he doesn't usually get super hyped. But that time, him and I got very, very, very hyped, and that's definitely a moment. Like even if I watch it now, I'll get goosebumps, man. Like it's definitely probably my favorite up there. Hockey moments. There are many other, but that's the one that I'll always get goosebumps watching, for sure.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
that sounds like a good one too. Alex
Yeah, I'm
Burrows,
not even
famous
a fan. I'm not even a fan. I like watching that one,
Mhm.
man.
Yeah.
Alex
That was
Burrows,
good.
famous NHL assistant coach in Montreal.
Yeah. How
He's
dude,
assistant
how's that
coach
like
there?
him?
I don't know. This coaching staff is kind of bad. It's,
Is it bad? Okay, yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I haven't seen or heard anything from him. I just know he's there.
I'm not gonna blame him. I think I don't know. A lot of people dislike Dominic Ducharme right now, in
Right.
Montreal. Like, yeah. So like, yeah. Anyway, I don't want to go on because I want to focus more on our memories here. But yeah, let's just say Burrows is honestly. I like Burrows as a coach, but I think he's a little too young. Like, he's still like a little too inexperienced to be
Still learning.
an NHL
Yeah.
coach. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's fair.
But nice memory though. I love Burrows as a player. Honestly, he was so fun. He was so like, he was that grit you need on a team. You know what I mean? He was that guy that would get you the big goals and would go to the net. You know, he reminds me a lot of Gallagher reminds me a lot of him. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and so when he played with Sedins, like that was always such a fun line.
Mhm.
The three of them together. So yeah, that was definitely a good memory for sure.
Yeah. I think one we probably all share is the golden goal, though. I think that's probably one we
Oh
all,
yeah.
all loved. But so again, sucks we can't see Olympics.
Yeah, not me.
Not Nick.
Not you?
Not me. Nope.
Not the
But you're
American man.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can't.
Oh, my
Yeah,
goodness.
can't love that
Yeah,
one.
definitely
Yeah,
not
that
Nick.
one hurt, man. You know
I
which one
completely
I
forgot.
liked? I liked the tying goal, but was it Parise?
I think it was Kessler.
Parise.
Oh no,
Or was
it was
Kessler?
yeah.
It was one of the, I don't remember, but I like the
Yeah, I
tying
remember.
goal a lot. But yeah, the golden one, that one hurt.
Oh.
That one
Nick,
hurt.
do you
But I
remember the-
respect it. I respect it. That was very cool,
you
even though
remem-
it was against us.
Do you
It was
remember the
very
World
cool.
Junior Tournament where Taves and Oshie took like every shootout?
Yeah.
That was crazy. Like,
That's-
how
Wait,
does
the-
that
yeah.
happen?
The Olympics?
No, it was. I thought it was
World
the
Junior.
World Junior.
Yeah, World Juniors too. Oh, okay.
It was
Yeah.
Canada versus US and Oshie.
Well, I know.
and
I mean, we
Taves
all
took
know
every-
the Oshie 2014 one, and that one was weird too because I'm Russian, so like I was kind of like cheering for Russia a little bit too. Like I'm mixed.
Mhm.
Like I cheer for the US and Russia.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
seeing that, I was like, oh man, like this is really cool, but this also hurts because I want to see Russia
It's
do well. And yeah,
Because
So
Canada
this is
won
gonna hurt
Sochi,
either
but like,
way.
who won silver?
Sweden.
Then-
It was
Sweet-
Sweden.
oh,
And so who got bronze?
Finland got bronze, I think.
Yeah.
So US and Russia both didn't make it.
Yeah. I think that's how it was.
Damn.
Who did Finland play in the?
I think it was Russia. They played
It's
Russia.
probably Russia then. I think US
Yeah.
got like got
No,
pretty
I don't
unlucky.
think that. No
yeah,
way,
I think
hold
US
on.
got
Let
unlucky with
me
their round.
check.
Yeah,
Who they
fact
faced
check.
in their round robin.
I don't think Russia got in. I want to say it was the Czechs or it's probably the Czechs. I think.
The Czechs are always like sneaky good. But they're
Hungary,
always like that,
well,
they're that
okay,
team
it's
that can
Canada.
upset. You know what I mean?
Who
They're
do
like
they
the
have?
underdog.
Oh, go on. Yeah.
So you had
Who's the U.S.?
Was it US?
Yeah.
Canada and Sweden in the gold medal game. So Canada beat Sweden 3-0. And
I
then
think Finland.
Price?
Finland beat the
And then-
U.S. Finland beat the U.S. I think it was a blowout.
5-0.
Yeah. Yeah.
Russia lost to Finland. And then Finland lost to Sweden. And then the US lost to Canada.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was the year we
I-
were just too stacked. That was probably what Canada, like one of their best teams.
But
I
like
think,
that
for
was
sure.
the Chris Kunitz team, right? That was the year they had Chris Kunitz with Crosby, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, that defense was
And
stout.
they-
Like
they
Subban was
dubbed-
like the seventh guy.
Yeah,
they dubbed
yeah.
St. Louis. They didn't let St. Louis play, even though he was one of the best players in the league at that moment
Yeah.
because he was having beef with Yzerman.
Remember when they
Mhm.
when the USA team left out Kessel? He was just like, I don't know,
Oh.
man. He was just like so.
Oh yeah,
baffled.
they did. Yeah.
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 Yeah, they didn't want him for some reason. I don't know why. I
That
don't know
was
what the
prime
issue-
Kessel too.
Wait,
I'm
who
pretty sure that was
coached?
prime
Wait,
Kessel.
who coached that team?
I think it was the coach who didn't like him.
It was it
I can't
Tortorella?
remember.
No, it wasn't Tortorella.
Bro, if they had Tortorella coaching a
If it was
US
Tortorella,
Olympic
yeah,
team,
no way,
oh my
Kessel would ever
god,
be
I'd be
on.
so mad. If I was a star player going to the Olympics and Tortorella was the coach. Damn, man. That's the worst coaching choice you could make. No offense to Tortorella. I'm sure he's a very smart guy and a great coach, but like
It was Dan Bilesma.
okay,
Dan
that makes more
Bilesma.
sense.
Okay.
That makes more sense. the Penguins coach at the time, I think.
Yeah, there you go. That's why Kunitz and Crosby were together like that. But it worked out. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that was like, yeah, the Penguins were so good at that time, and they're still pretty good, but like,
Still good.
Like,
Yeah,
that
they're
was-
getting healthy too.
yeah,
You
but
know,
like they were
Malcolm's
like
coming back.
they were
Yeah.
like good. You know what I mean? Like the mid 2010s, like they were so good. The Penguins, man.
But they couldn't win, and then they won when everyone thought they were past it.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
won back to back.
Yeah,
And
they
they-
beat
they
your
hurt.
San Jose Sharks.
Yeah, they hurt Ponchi along the way.
It's funny how that works.
I was rooting for San Jose in that one.
Yeah,
Right.
I wanted
Good
Joe and
teams,
Marlowe to
man.
get one in San
Yeah.
Jose.
Mm.
I think by the time they got to Pittsburgh, though, San Jose was just they were just dead, man. Like Joe Thornton could barely skate. I think he had
Oh
torn.
yeah, they're
I think-
super injured.
He
I think we
tore
found
his
out he had
Achilles.
He had ACL and MCL sprains in the same foot.
And he tore his Achilles.
How the frick was this guy walking? Like this, he had one foot that he couldn't even use. Like what the
I don't know how these guys
It's
go on in
crazy.
playoffs. Just in general, like
No,
A
Yeah.
lot of anesthesia.
a lot of painkillers, man. Like these guys are
Yeah.
warriors, and yeah, I feel kind of bad every now and then when we bash on players because like at the end of the day, like these guys are amazing athletes, and
yeah.
troopers,
Yeah.
man.
We're
But-
bashing the best of the best.
Yeah, but they
Yeah.
get paid millions of dollars, so you know what, they can put up with my antics and our antics,
Just a little
So
bit. Yeah.
and they
They
probably don't
ever
even know
hear
we
us.
exist, so.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
But that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
I think we'll end it there, guys. I know some of us has some stuff to get done today as well. It's been a bit of a busy time. Although it's the holidays, everyone's always busy during the holidays. It's always fun. You're like, oh, I have so much free time on the holidays to do all this stuff. And then you end up getting really busy.
It
So
goes away so quick.
yeah, that free time disappears very quickly. So we'll end it here. It's been a nice podcast. This will be uploaded to YouTube on Monday as usual at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. If you guys want a better time, let me know. I could always save it to upload to Tuesdays. If you guys think that Mondays aren't the best day to upload, I don't know. We'll figure it out. But Hockey, thank you for stopping by. You've been here the whole time, and we do appreciate you interacting with us. This is meant to be an interactive podcast in the sense that we will have listeners and people who are part of our communities join in and talk with us. And we don't have the chat screen on this 4-person overlay, but if we're ever 3, you'll be able to see the chat as well. But like, you guys can interact with each other in chat and just kind of hang out. We'll answer as many questions as we can from chat. We don't always get around to answering every single one of them, but we do our best to stay on topic and answer you guys. So let us know in the comment section on YouTube if you enjoyed the podcast. If you have any questions that you want us to answer next podcast, we'll do our best to get to those as well. We do appreciate everyone for stopping by. So we'll give a quick shout out to Ponchi. So Ponch_YYC on Twitch. You can check him out, help him get affiliate. Berdaman as well on Twitch. You can check him out. And obviously NXGnick here. You can check him out on Twitch and YouTube. He's got his New York Rangers talk show, I guess I'll call it, or the post-game review that he does there. And you can check him out on Twitch. He's usually live in the mornings. So we'll catch you guys later. And we appreciate all your support. I don't know if you guys want to do goodbye, but all right, we'll catch you guys later. Thank you everyone for stopping by.